Admiral's
It's
log,
not a
stardate
good combat system.
47199.3. We have lost contact with the Enterprise.
This is turning into a slideshow.
Sensors are picking up debris and radiation consistent with the destruction of an Ambassador-class vessel. The Heirs.
Are there any signs of survivors?
No, sir.
Captain, Romulan warbird decloaking to starboard.
Evasive maneuvers.
And we're forced into a battle.
Captain, I am honored.
So I turned the Worf delegation on and it immediately started a voice clip. Captain, I'm honored.
Attention, Romulan vessel. This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the Federation Starship Enterprise.
I am Tiralak, commander of the Imperial warbird Psionex.
Your ship is crippled, Tiralak. I'm offering to beam you and your crew aboard the Enterprise.
So you're going to
you
try
will be
shooting
well
back
treated.
this one?
Yeah, I have to, because it's supposed to blow up rather
No
easily.
doubt. Unfortunately, we will not be able to accept your generous offer.
Captain, energy emissions from the Psionex are rapidly increasing. I believe they have activated their self-destruct system.
Hell, back us off. I don't want us anywhere near that
Wow,
ship
I
when it
just
goes.
skipped the whole battle, and now I'm seeing Picard telling him to surrender. Yeah, Herbical, I would have preferred an FMV game.
Well, I do have Borg and Klingon.
Why did your ships cross the neutral zone, Tiralak? Surely you knew that you would be intercepted.
Of course we did.
Then what was the purpose? There was nothing to be gained from this.
Although now I'm thinking of the main actor from Contradiction acting in Star Trek, and that would be hilarious.
We gained far more than you realize.
You know this attack cannot succeed, Tiralak. Only a fool throws away his life for a hopeless cause.
I am no fool, Picard. If you understood what was at stake here...
Enlighten me.
Sometimes, ultimate power demands ultimate sacrifice. Once the Chodak weapon is in our hands, there will be a reckoning. The Federation, the Klingons, the Cardassians, none of you can even comprehend the fate that awaits you. Enjoy the time that you have left.
I understood what was at stake here. Then explain it!
Exactly. Now, how do I get out of this stupid
The
menu?
Romulan warbird has
There we
been
go.
destroyed.
What do you have to report, Captain?
The Heirs was lost with all hands. We engaged and defeated a warbird, but unfortunately, the Romulans destroyed themselves to avoid capture.
The Romulans have a strange conception of honor. Well, there's no time to dwell on that. I have another assignment for you.
We're in need of some repairs.
There's no time. We've just received a
Or if you should jump
communication
into
from a
Discord with us.
Klingon attack cruiser in the Bela system. They reported engaging
Like to
3
replenish some
warbirds
of our
headed for this
organic
outpost. Give the Klingons any assistance they need.
You know,
and make
Riker
sure
let
those
loose
warbirds
during the
battle
battle.
human
get
hearts.
through.
No, Riker just let himself loose during the battle.
We're on our way. Laying a course for the ballast system, warp 9. Engage.
Oh, yeah, save. Don't want to die.
I don't know, it kind of seems like you do. You don't really like fighting these battles. When it's the closest thing to gameplay that I've seen so far.
That's because the combat is the worst design thing in this. Like, combat was like...
We are receiving a message from Captain Kidra of the Bortas.
was like a afterthought for the rest of the game.
The Bortas was one of the first Klingon ships to offer assistance when the Romulan invasion began.
Captain Kidra fought with me against the Duras. He is a warrior of great courage.
Season 3 and 4 reference. And multiple storyline reference.
Put him on screen. Greetings, Captain. This is Jean-Luc Picard of the Enterprise.
Captain Picard, it is an honor.
The honor is mine. Lieutenant Worf speaks very highly of you.
As well he should. We crushed many enemies together. Well, I bear good news, Captain. We have saved one of your communication relays from a Romulan attack.
Then we are in your debt. Do you require any assistance with your ship or crew?
None whatsoever. We were completely unscathed. And, Captain, we captured a warbird and many prisoners. It was a truly glorious victory.
You captured a Romulan warbird without any resistance?
They had little to resist us with. When we boarded their ship, we found that it had been severely modified, stripped of most weapons and many other systems as well.
Why would they purposely make themselves so vulnerable?
The modifications nearly doubled their engine power. It seems they were willing to sacrifice weapons for speed.
Captain, such modifications would have placed extreme stresses on the warbird's hull. It would not have survived an extended mission.
Maybe they never expected to survive. Maybe they were on a suicide mission.
But a suicide mission for what?
During our interrogations, the prisoners mentioned a weapon of some kind. Perhaps that is what they were seeking.
We just discussed this with the Romulan. They're after a Chodak weapon.
You mean the Ferengi?
No, I mean the Romulan. The one that just blew himself up.
Oh, I must have lost the frames where he talked about a weapon.
Well, this is also why I'm recording it, so it can go up on YouTube later. Let's see.
What exactly did you learn from the prisoners?
They spoke of an ancient weapon, a relic of a long-dead race known as the Chodak. A weapon of ultimate power which would solve all their problems, put an end to their war, and destroy both the Federation and the Klingon Empire.
You sound as if you don't believe this weapon exists.
It is nothing more than a desperate fantasy. According to our reports, their empire will soon be overrun by alien invaders. The Romulans are clutching for anything they think can save them.
Assuming the weapon is real, how did the Romulans expect to find it?
Apparently, they found clues to the weapon's supposed location at the site of some Chodak ruins. Now they're wasting valuable ships on a useless quest while their empire burns. Fools.
Can you tell us anything else about the Romulans' war?
They are fighting a formidable adversary.
Chodak called
Extremely
this weapon the
powerful
Star Killer
aliens
base.
from the far side of their empire. We know nothing more than that.
With your permission, I'd
Totally
like to
isn't a
question
Death
the
Star.
Romulan commander myself.
And
I can
J.J.
beam
Abrams
over
played this
immediately.
game and said, I can use this.
I'm
Everything
afraid
came
that
full
won't
circle.
be possible. The commander is presently... indisposed. Perhaps permanently.
Tell me about the battle.
We were on patrol in the ballast system near your relay station when we detected 3 warbirds approaching rapidly.
You engaged 3 warbirds with a single ship.
I wouldn't care to face those odds even in the Enterprise.
We were ready for an honorable death as we closed with their lead ship. We locked our disruptors, prepared to fire, and they fled. The cowards ran from us even though they held the advantage.
They didn't even attempt to attack the station?
They were concerned only with escape. By the time we disabled their first ship, the other two were already out of range.
Were you able to track them?
Yes, for a while. We believe they were heading for the Zatanis Nebula.
We appreciate your help, Kidra. Thank you.
You can't ask if he's treating the prisoners well, or else he gets pissed at us.
Success to you as well, Picard. Good hunting.
What could the Romulans be up to?
They are not eager to fight. Their actions seem somewhat desperate.
I'm beginning to wonder if this really is an invasion after all.
According to the information provided by Captain Kidra, the modifications to the warbirds will render the ships unusable within a few weeks. That would seem inconsistent with the needs of a long-term occupational force.
But they made those modifications for a reason. Speed. It looks like they're trying to get to the Zatanis Nebula as fast as they can.
Agreed. The question is, why?
Captain, what do you have to report?
The Bortas chased off the warbirds.
One Klingon ship chased off 3 warbirds?
Not only that, it disabled and captured one of them.
I think I'll send Captain Kidra a bottle of Saurian brandy along with my thanks.
He certainly earned it. According to his prisoners, the Romulans are not interested in invading the Federation, at least not yet. Apparently they're heading for the Zatanis Nebula.
That nebula has no strategic value. What are they looking for?
We believe they're seeking an ancient weapon built by the Chodak.
The Chodak? I've heard the stories. Some kind of star-eating superweapon hidden in the nebula. But they're just stories. The Romulans wouldn't risk war over a myth.
We're looking for the Doomsday Machine from the original series.
But the Romulans never do anything without considering all the consequences. Perhaps there's more truth to these stories than we realized.
All right, Captain. A pair of Klingon attack cruisers have just arrived in the sector to support us.
It's a Star
I
Killer
think we
base.
can manage without you. If you want to investigate this Chodak weapon further, you're free to do so.
Thank you, Commander. I intend to get to the bottom of this.
Sir, we are receiving a signal from Starfleet. It is Admiral Williams.
On screen. Greetings, Admiral. What can we do for you?
Captain, Commander Chan notified us of your findings. Your suspicions that this was not a full-scale invasion appear to be correct. The Romulan incursion appears to be limited to the sectors between the neutral zone and the Zatanis Nebula.
We must find out
Tell
what
him
they're
to ignore
really
it.
after.
That's awesome.
Agreed.
Fuck you, Admiral
The
Williams.
recurring
You
thread
sent me
through
to
all
Planet
this
of the
seems
Apes.
to be
Or
the
no, it's somebody
Chodak.
else's.
That
Do
was
you have any
Redrick.
ideas where to begin?
Never mind.
Most of the surviving Chodak ruins are in Romulan space. However, we recently discovered a new site on Phrygius. There's also a Vulcan archaeologist,
They've
Shamok,
already
who's an
told you
expert on the
repeatedly what they're
Chodak.
really
I'll attempt to
after.
contact him as well.
All right, Captain. Good luck. Williams out.
What are your orders, Captain?
How about you just fucking go to the nebula?
Laying a course for
That'd be
Shaloisho
too easy.
Epsilon 6, Warp 5.
Aye, sir.
Let's see, we know where they're going and what they're
Engage.
after. Let's fuck around some more.
Gotta investigate everything.
Let's land on Vulcan and do fucking things again.
We'll stop by Ryza because you know they do it right.
Captain, an urgent message is coming in from Chancellor Larac of Phrygius.
On screen.
Captain Picard, a Romulan warbird has invaded our system. You promised to defend us. Please come as quickly as you can.
How do I increase warp? Ah, there we go. get to Phrygius as fast as possible.
So are you going to defend Helmet here?
Warning. Entering Nebula.
Something like that.
Entering Federation space.
Captain's log supplemental. We have arrived at Phrygius in response to a distress call from Chancellor Larac. Although he claims to have been attacked by the Romulans, we can find no evidence that any battle ever took place.
Sensors are picking up a vessel.
Yellow.
A Romulan warbird is on sensors.
God damn it.
You can find no evidence of a Romulan attack as we get into a fight with Romulans.
Our phaser fire missed.
I can't believe you've been streaming this whole game for almost 4.5 hours now.
Damage to the sensor array.
Warning.
Fire. Fire.
No damage.
We are being hailed.
Do you need...
Torpedo away. Our phaser fire missed. We have been hit. Direct hit. The shields are holding. Damage to the sensor array.
No damage.
Fire.
Enemy ship is firing. Torpedo away. Our phaser fire missed. We are being hailed.
There we go.
Captain. You will find it short-lived.
Torpedo locked. Direct hit.
3 make it so's later, and I finally won.
There you go.
The Romulan warbird has been destroyed.
This is why I avoid combat.
I cannot begin to thank you for coming to our rescue. If I can help you in any way, please let me know.
I'd like to beam a team down to your planet and talk with you more directly.
You and your crew will be most welcome.
Now, he said team, but we're just going to beam Picard down by himself.
Beam down coordinates selected.
We're also about to get massive plot dump.
Captain Picard, please report to the transporter room.
Thank you for allowing us to beam down.
I welcome you in the Lawgiver's name. Although the sects have refused to help, I am more than willing to assist you.
The ancient Chodak have suddenly assumed great importance in galactic affairs. We were hoping you could tell us some more about them.
Our people have always been fascinated by the ruins found when our ancestors arrived here. Over the years, we have learned many things about the Chodak society and technology.
What do you know about Chodak technology?
We do not fully understand the principles behind it, but we've been able to make some of it function. The chameleon field that disguises our world, for example, is a Chodak invention.
What else have you discovered about Chodak technology?
They had an unusual way of navigating that seemed to be based on how long it took to travel between different points at a particular speed. Unfortunately, I don't know how they defined their basic units, so I can't be more specific.
Is there anything else you can tell me about Chodak technology?
They created special shielding materials which could block out any transporter beams we know of, yet their own transporters could pass through them easily.
What else have you discovered about Chodak technology?
They use devices similar to isolinear rods as keys to many of their machines. Here, let me give you one.
Sort of.
How does it work?
When this programmer is twisted around the rod's end, it can alter the rod's settings, making it a sort of all-purpose key. If you use the programmer properly, you can activate almost any Chodak machine or computer.
Is there anything else you can tell me about Chodak technology?
The crowning glory of their technology was something called the Unity device that made it possible for them to control their far-flung empire.
Do you have any more details about this Unity device?
I think it was a superweapon with almost unlimited powers. When the Chodak lost it somehow, their empire fell apart almost immediately.
What do you know about Chodak society?
Their empire spanned this quadrant, encompassing tens of thousands of star systems. It endured for 100,000 years. Then, 900,000 years ago, it disintegrated, almost overnight.
It's unusual for such an immense empire to last that long. What was the secret of their success?
They had a talent for administration. They had an entire planet called Alanor, from which they ruled their empire. The bureaucracy must have been colossal.
What else do you know about Chodak history?
We believe that the group which settled here and built these structures was not from the mainstream of Chodak society.
Why do you say that?
For one reason, this is a very small base. The structures the Chodak built could not have held more than a few thousand people. This could not have been a major colony.
And for another?
The Chodak settlers often referred to Alanor as the seat of evil, and frequently said that the Unity device, the Empire's chief means of control, had to be destroyed.
Perhaps the settlers here were similar to your own ancestors, fleeing an established society to pursue a different vision.
Perhaps, but I suspect the Chodak here played a far more active role. This outpost was only inhabited for a few decades, which coincided almost exactly with the end of the Empire as a whole.
These reasons
are not strong ground for believing the settlers here were rebels.
I mean, we can start the game now.
No.
There are 1,000 more small clues, all pointing to the same conclusion. But there is one major mystery which could resolve the question completely.
What is this mystery?
A century ago, our scientists found a Chodak data crystal. We believe it contains the answers we seek, but unfortunately,
the answers.
crystal is extremely old and fragile. Our equipment is not sophisticated enough to read it without destroying it.
Perhaps the Enterprise's computers could read your Chodak data crystal safely.
Very well. I will entrust the crystal to you. All I ask is that you share whatever you discover to satisfy our own curiosity.
If you'll excuse me, I have other duties to attend to. Perhaps we can talk again later.
As you wish. May the spirit of the lawgiver guide your path through the stars.
We've done all we can here. Beam us up. Chancellor Larac was most helpful. We now know what the Romulans are
And
seeking.
he reads the crystal and it says, woke up like this, hashtag accidental selfie.
Do you think the Romulans have really found the Unity device?
We know already if they had.
The device is that powerful?
I'm not sure, but without it, an empire which spanned this entire section of the galaxy disintegrated overnight.
What are your orders, Captain?
Set course for Horst 3, Warp 5.
Aye, sir.
Engage.
And now you'll get to meet the Vulcan I talked about earlier.
Oh boy.
After a quick save.
Is that facial animation even worse than the Ferengis?
It's on par with the Ferengis.
Oh boy. Pardon me while I gouge out my eyes first.
Captain, the ship's computer has completed its attempt to read the damaged Chodak data crystal we received from Chancellor Larac.
Any success, Mr. Data?
Only in part, sir. Much of the information was corrupted, as we had feared. But there is one section that may be of interest in our current situation. As Chancellor Larac guessed, Frigis was indeed a rebel base. The crystal explains how the rebels stole information from the main computer on Alinor and used it to attack the Unity device itself. The rebels used a programmable encryption rod to access Alinor's main computer and learn vital information about the Unity device. This information was then used to plan a raid against the Unity device. There is then a corrupted section and a brief mention of a space freighter called the Rinkel. I am not certain what the connection is between the freighter and the raid. The complete text of the information may of course be found in the ship's computer.
Itself, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Did they use something with Sonic in the name to do this?
No.
Helm, standard orbit.
Captain's log. We have arrived at Horse 3 to request some advice from the noted Vulcan archaeologist, Shaynok. Instead, all we have found here is a recorded message buoy broadcasting continuously.
To whoever hears this message, the sudden incursion into this region of space by a flotilla of Romulan warships has made this remote expedition untenable. For the safety of my crew, I have decided to abandon this site temporarily.
Let me know when you see the Vulcan.
Oh god. His face just bounces up and down like it's rubber.
Yep.
In the name of science, I ask that you do not disturb my work on this planet. There is one site that requires special care. The Chodak site seems to have a field that camouflages it to normal sensors. I located it mostly by accident. There is a platform jutting out part way down a deep shaft in the ground. Further investigation has been blocked by an ancient rock slide.
As much as I would like to honor Shaynok's request to leave the site alone, we don't have that luxury. The current situation makes it imperative that we learn where this planet Alinor is. This Chodak base may have the information we need. We should form an away team at once to investigate this shaft that Shaynok spoke of, but we'll have to be careful to disturb as little on the site as possible.
Sensors are picking up a vessel.
Oh, what the hell? Why am I getting a fight now?
Evasive maneuvers.
Aye, Captain.
A Romulan warbird is on sensor. Locking weapons.
You gotta wait to pick out outside the planet.
Direct hit. We have been hit.
Need a moment.
I did not hail you. Why did you do that? Oh.
Fire.
Direct hit.
So wait, he held you to say let's talk instead of fighting. He said fuck you and went direct hit.
Yeah.
Torpedo away.
Fire.
Direct hit.
We who are about to die salute you.